Hi everyone, Matt here. I'm a long-time developer with WordPress and SEO specialist. And in this video, I'm going to show you something very important, how to add a sitemap when you're using Yoast to your Google Search Console for WordPress. Let's jump on in and I'll show you how you get this done. Okay, so I've just gone into the back end of my website on WordPress. I'm on the dashboard. I'm going to go to Yoast and then click on General. And this gives us this new admin panel that came out with Yoast that gives us quite a lot of really cool things in terms of first-time configuration. On the left-hand navigation now, we've got all sorts of different settings and integrations. If we click on settings, there's this really great quick search. So I could just do sitemap like that, and that will take me to XML sitemap. And you can see that it just scrolls me down to this part of the page. On that, I'm just going to say view XML sitemap. And here you can see that I've only got a page sitemap. I'll show you later on in this video why I've only got a page sitemap. But we only have pages on this particular site. So if I go into Search Console, I've already added the domain. You can see that in my previous video where I show you how I set up Search Console and Analytics with Kadence, which is what this site's using. And what we need to now do is take a look at sitemaps here. And this now has the sitemap area to add a new sitemap. So because I've clicked on sitemaps, we've got the sitemap there. So let's go back to the tab. So from Site Features, I've gone View XML and we have the URL here. And I just need to copy part of that URL, the last part. So no matter what your domain name is, you are going to add sitemap_index.xml and click Submit. At that point, Google starts crawling the sitemap. So that's been submitted and it says it's successful. This now means that Google understands how to crawl these pages. Beforehand, I had 15 pages indexed, 7 not indexed with 3 reasons. And you can see there's a lot of 404s and things like that. So I had to start cleaning up what was going on that. So I hope you liked that video and that it's giving you the results you need when it comes to crawling your sitemap with the Google Search Console. Remember that you need to turn on and off different types of data depending on what you're using within your website. Let me show you how we configured this site to turn off posts and categories that aren't being used. So next, because we've got all of that set up, we need to jump in to understand how I turned off certain features. So if we look at content types, first of all, we'll look at posts. And you can see here I say show post in search results is off. By default, that's on. Mine is off. I'm doing that because we're not using posts. There are no posts in this site. There isn't a news feed or anything like that. It's all static pages. So I've turned that off. Pages is on. Elements needs to be off as well. And we'll say save changes. Now, elements by default won't show up in your sitemap. So that's all fine, but we want to make sure that we've turned that off. We don't want to show them in the search results. Next, we look at categories. Now, because of categories being used in posts, and this is off, you can see that the same toggle here, show categories in search results, is off. So that means that it's not going to be shown anywhere. Now you can enable SEO controls and other things like that further down, but this is the main one. If you're not using categories, make sure they're turned off. Same goes for tags. And I would say for a lot of people's websites, unless you have quite a large blog, you don't really need to use tags. You should really choose to decide and say, okay, do I want categories or do I want tags? And only when you start to have 3 or more items per tag or category should you begin using that to sort your content. Otherwise, they're no use to you. Tags are not like what we have on social media where you say hashtag WordPress, for example, and people pick it up on Twitter or on YouTube. That doesn't happen. So there's no point having those there, so I've disabled those also. Under the Advanced tab, I didn't have to touch anything. You may want to go to Author Archives and disable or enable those. I've left mine because we've turned them off further down. So I do have an Author Archive, but I've turned it off in search results. Date archives, same sort of thing. They're available, but they're not showing in search results. So because they're not showing in search result, I didn't have to go and tweak them any further. So that's where you go and turn these items on and off. The great thing about Yoast is there are lots of tips within your date archives items or within any of these real areas under this side menu. So do take a look at those. And of course, if you need tips about it, leave a comment below. Okay, so now we've finished off our configuration. Our sitemap is inside Google and being crawled and validated to make sure that we're getting information that we need. Remember, maintaining these kinds of things is really important. If you need help doing that, by all means reach out to our team at MRK. We do care plans for WordPress and SEO services that might give you the helping hand you need. But before you do any of that, why don't you give me a thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel so you can learn more about how to SEO optimize your WordPress sites. And of course, if you've got any other questions, why don't you leave me a comment below and I'll respond to you with some sort of video or whatever it is, and hope to be able to help you out on your SEO journey. And of course, I look forward to seeing you in the next video.